Class 10 Biology, Chapter 3 How Do Organisms Reproduce? Video number 1. The topics covered in this video are reproduction and its importance, DNA copying and importance of DNA copying, and variations and the importance of variation. Reproduction is the process by which organisms produce young ones of their own kind. In the first chapter, that is life processes, you had learned about many of the important life processes like nutrition, then you had discussed about respiration, excretion, transportation, and all these life processes that I had discussed in the first chapter, they are important for the survival of an individual. But reproduction is a process which is not important for the survival of the individuals. That is, if an individual does not reproduce, it does not mean that it will cause the death of the individual. But if we go with the other life processes like respiration, nutrition, etc., if there is something wrong that happens with the system, that respiratory system or the process of nutrition is not going on well, then that can be life threatening to the individual. But this process, that is reproduction, is not life. If a particular person does not reproduce, it's not going to threaten the person's life. Despite of this, the process is very important. In fact, in reproduction, when an individual reproduces, you find a lot of resources and the energy of the individual is spent to make a new individual. So despite of this fact that it is not important for the survival and rather lots of energy is spent by the individual to form a new individual, despite of this fact, this process of reproduction is very important. So now let us see how is this process important. First importance of reproduction is it is important for continuity of life. Life, like around 3.5 billion years ago when life originated on earth, it's still continuing. And this is because of the process of reproduction. You must have learned, or you quite well know, that if all living organisms have a fixed lifespan. One who has taken birth has to die. And this duration of time between the birth and the death is what is called as lifespan. And every living organism has got a fixed lifespan. But then before they die, they produce young ones of their own kind. And this is how life is still existing on earth. The process of reproduction is also important for conservation and perpetuation of the species. A species is a group of individuals that can interbreed and produce fertile offsprings. So again, as I said, that every individual has got a fixed lifespan. So before the members of a particular species die, they reproduce and produce young ones of their own kind. And since the origin of a species, the species is still continuing, and that's possible because of the process of reproduction. Imagine what would happen if the individual of the species would have been non-reproducing organisms. If suppose there was only one non-reproducing organism belonging to a particular species, we would have not even noticed, they would have not even come under our notice. We are able to see so many species all around us, and this is possible because the number of individual in each species is quite a lot, and this is possible only through the process of reproduction. Then other importance of reproduction is reproduction. When organisms reproduce, variations are produced. And what are variations? Variations are the differences. They are the differences that are seen in the morphological, physiological and other characters or traits of individuals belonging to a particular species, race or family. So these variation, whenever you must have seen that, like if you compare yourself with your parents, you'll find that you're not an exact copy. Even if you compare yourself with your brothers and sisters, you'll find there are differences present. So these differences that you see in external, internal or functional or behavioral properties, and these differences are what are called as variations. And when reproduction occurs, variations are definitely produced. New variations will be introduced, and they are then passed from one generation to other, because most of these variations that are produced during reproduction, they are all genetic variations. They are because of the change in the structure of the gene. And these variations are very important because they pre-adapt the individuals to the changes that may happen in the environment. So variation helps in pre-adaptation, and they also serve as raw materials. They also serve as raw materials for evolution and formation of a new species. So the individuals of a particular species, if you take, for example, as tigers, all these different individuals of the species of tigers, they are having the same body design. They have the pattern of the body design is same. So as if you would compare the giraffes, these different breeds of giraffes, they're all having the same body design. And this body design is similar because the blueprint that makes their body design, the blueprint that makes their body design is the same, right? It is the same. And so at the basic level, when we talk about that reproduction, when we say reproduction as a process of producing young ones of the similar kind, that is producing young ones which have the same body design as that of the parent, we actually this mean that, or this shows that during reproduction, the blueprint which decides the body design is copied and then passed to the next generation. So at its basic level, it is actually copying the blueprint and then passing it to the next generation. Now what is this blueprint which decides the body design? What is it? It is the DNA. Okay, and where is the DNA located? You have learned in your class 9 that DNA, that is deoxyribonucleic acid, is present or that makes your chromosomes, and the chromosomes are located in the nucleus of the cell. And DNA, it serves as the hereditary material. It is DNA which is passed from one generation to other. And how is it passed? The DNA is copied, and then after it is copied, a copy of it is then given to the next generation. So at the basic level, in reproduction, it's actually making a copy of DNA and then passing it to the next generation. And why this is important? Because DNA, it has the information for making proteins. You'll be learning this in class 11 and 12, that this is the molecule of DNA. This molecule of DNA has got genes. You've learned in your class 9 that segments of DNA are called as genes, and the genes or the DNA has got information for making proteins. And these proteins, they are like different proteins and the macromolecules that are made by using this information. They make up the cells. The cells then organize to tissues, organs, and organ systems, and thus we would say that these proteins that are made, they decide the body design. So what would happen if this DNA gets altered? If the DNA gets altered, then in that case, the proteins that are made will also get altered. And if the proteins get altered, the body design is also going to get altered. Okay, so here this shows that these DNA, how it serves as a blueprint is, it has information for making proteins. Proteins decides the body design, and thus during reproduction, it is a blueprint or the DNA that is copied and passed to the next generation. Now it comes as how is this done? So let us study how this copying of DNA occurs. Is it just the single DNA copy that is taken? It will not be that if suppose this is a parent cell. So if I say, or if it is said that a DNA is copied and passed to the next generation, it's not that the copy or the DNA which is there in the parent cell will be copied as and then will be thrown out of the cell. If just the DNA is thrown out of the cell, this DNA is not going to work, or it's not going to make an organized structure, and it's not going to be functional. Means this DNA will be functional only if it is present along with the cellular apparatus. So the basic event, whether it is asexual or sexual reproduction, the basic event or how DNA copying occurs is, first the parent DNA will make a copy of itself. This is the parent DNA, it makes a copy of itself, and at the same time the cellular apparatus, that is the other components of the cell, the cellular apparatus also doubles up at the same time while DNA copying is occurring. And then after the cellular apparatus has doubled, then this copy of DNA along with the cellular apparatus gets separated and new daughter cells are formed. So this is how this happens. It's not just that the copy will be just thrown out of the cell. The copy has to be separated from the parent along with the cellular apparatus so that it becomes functional. Now the question is that, is the copy that is made an identical copy to that of the parent? The answer is no. The DNA copy that is made is not identical to, it is similar to that of the parent cell, but not identical to the parent cells. So let us see why is it not identical to the parent cell. Now the process of DNA copying, it involves huge number of biochemical reactions. There are lots of biochemical reactions, like it's like any process that occurs in our body, it will involve lots of biochemical reactions. So this process of DNA copying, when DNA is being copied, it will involve huge number of biochemical reactions. And remember that no biochemical reaction is 100% accurate. It's no reaction. In fact, even if you perform an experiment in the lab, you will not find it will be 100% as accurate as the previous one. There'll be inaccuracies. So while the DNA, original DNA, is being copied through and during that process, when biochemical reactions are involved, as the biochemical reactions are not 100% identical, while the new copy is made, this new copy will be similar to that of the original one, but will not be identical to the original one. There will be some differences. There may be some errors, like it's not exactly 100% copied. There will be some minor or major errors that may happen during DNA copying. Okay, and as already stated, that if the copy of DNA gets altered, if it is altered, then the proteins that will be formed will be altered, and if proteins are formed, then the body design also will get altered. That means there will be a variation in the body design. So there occurs errors in DNA copying, and as I said you, it's because of the biochemical reactions that are involved, which are not 100% accurate. Now, so this is a picture, this is a diagrammatic representation showing about that when this parent DNA, or when the parent cell multiplies and produces the daughter cells, the new DNA copy that is made from the parent DNA copy, that is similar to that of the parent DNA. But there will be some inaccuracies. You can see here there might be some inaccuracies. These inaccuracies can either be minor, as shown over here, or it can be major. So here you can see this diagram is just a representation to show that the parent DNA and the copy of DNA that is made. Here you can see lots of inaccuracies, lots of errors. So if suppose there are lots of errors in the DNA copy that is made, then the resultant cell will not be able to work. The DNA copy will not be able to work along with the cellular apparatus. It's not going to work properly, and this may lead to the death of the cell. Okay, and the cells, you know that cells multiply and makes an individual, so this is going to cause a death of the individual. So many people, many children, or the infants that are born, they die. Or in case of other animals also, you find that newborns, they die. It's because of the drastic genetic changes that may happen. So if the changes or the copies that are made, they are having huge variations or huge errors, then such a cell will not be able to work, as a DNA copy will not be able to work properly with the cellular apparatus, and that's going to cause the death of the individual or the cell. But if suppose the error is a minor error, as you can see here, the copy is the same as that of the parent. The copy is same as that of the parent, but it's just having a minor error, a small error. So in this case, if there is a small error, then such a copy of DNA with a minor error will be able to work properly with the cellular apparatus. But then such a cell or individual will be similar. It's going to be similar to the parent, but will not be identical. It's not going to be identical with that of the parent. Okay, so these minor errors, they are the reasons for variations. One of the reasons for variation that we see is these errors in DNA copying. An individual or a cell with minor changes in the DNA, such an individual or a cell will able to survive. And if it survives, then definitely, as a DNA copy has got, or the DNA that has been copied is having an error, the body design will be slightly altered. And so you find this alteration is what we call it as variation. So this is one of the reason. I would not say this is the only reason for variation, but this is one of the reason for variation that are seen. That is error in DNA copying. So this is one of the reason for variation that is seen in case of individual. And remember, this will be error in DNA copying, also called as mutation. This will be the only reason for variation in asexually reproducing organisms. So those organisms which reproduce asexually, their mutation or error in DNA copying is the only reason. Okay, and I'm repeating it again, that these errors, if they are minor, then that will lead to survival. Okay, but if suppose the errors are major, as shown over here, then that is going to cause death. And if the errors are minor errors, then definitely the individual will be almost like that of the parent with a very slight variation. And that's the reason we say that in case of asexual reproduction, if it is only error in DNA copying, then the individuals definitely are going to be almost, they'll be genetically identical to that of the parent. They are going to be genetically identical to that of the parent because they are with the minor errors. Okay, so this error in DNA copying is one of the reasons for variation. Okay, there are other reasons also, like in case of sexually reproducing organism. Here there are the different reasons of variations are given. In case of asexual reproduction, it's only the faulty DNA replication or error in DNA copying, and that too should be minor error because major error will not allow the cell to survive. But in case of sexual reproduction, as two parents are involved, apart from error in DNA copying, you find there are other things also. There are some events like crossing over that occurs during gamete formation. There occurs reshuffling of chromosomes during gamete formation and during fertilization. About this in detail, you'll be learning in class 11. So these are the reasons for more variations that are seen in case of sexually reproducing organisms. It's not just error, because error is going to bring a minor variation. These crossing over, the reshuffling of chromosomes, and the fact that two parents are contributing their genetic material, so more variations are seen in case of sexually reproducing organisms. More variations are seen in sexually reproducing organisms. So here you've got the importance of DNA copying. Why is DNA copying quite important? It is important because it is through DNA copying that the information of the parents is passed to the offspring. As already told you, DNA has got information for making proteins, and proteins decides the body design. So it is through DNA copying that the information, through the copy of DNA, the information, the hereditary information is passed from the parents to the next generation. Okay, so if we talk ourselves as human beings, if we take example of human beings, all the human beings have a common body design. It's because of the DNA that is copied and passed to the next generation, right? But there are variations also. You'll be finding that all of us are quite different from each other in terms of many of our features: height, the skin color or complexion, the hair color or the hair shape or the nose shape. So if you take any feature, you'll find there's a difference. So this during DNA copying, as variations occur, so these DNA those errors or occurs, and that results in variation. So that's another importance of DNA copying, that as DNA copying is not 100% accurate, you find there occurs error during this, and this leads to variations, which is quite important for evolution and also for helping the individual to get pre-adapted to the changes that occur in the environment, that may occur in the environment. So that's the importance of DNA copying. Now coming to what is variation and how is variation important. Variation, as in the beginning I said you, that variations are the differences found in the structural, functional and other traits or characters of individuals belonging to the same family, race or species. Okay, so that is what is variation. And causes of variation, just now we have discussed, the beginning of the chapter was about this, that the one cause of variation that's dealt in the beginning of the chapter is the error in DNA copying. But that too, it should be minor error, because major errors will not allow the DNA or the cell to work. Okay. And in case of sexual reproduction, it is DNA error in DNA copying. Then there are events like crossing over and reshuffling of chromosomes that occur during gamete formation, fertilization. So all these leads to variations. Now coming to the importance of variations. Variations are very important, and they are important because they help in pre-adaptation. They help the organism to get adapted to the changes in the environment. So any change in the environment, if it occurs, then if suppose an individual has got a variation that's going to resist that particular change, then that will cause a survival. They'll help in survival of the organism. So variations, they're very important because they pre-adapt the individuals to the changes that may occur to the environment, as well as they adapt them to the environment. They also help them to get pre-adapted to the changes that would occur in the environment. And the other importance of variation is that you all know, this is this natural selection. There's a theory of natural selection that was suggested by Charles Darwin. So according to his theory, or we are quite aware of, that all the individuals that are existing on earth, they are continuously competing with each other for their existence. So in this struggle for existence, the struggle for acquiring food, shelter and meeting all the other requirements, only those individuals which are having a favorable variation, a variation which is going to help them to fight for their existence, this will help them to survive and thus emerge out. So this is how these variations help the species to emerge out strong if favored by natural selection. Then the other importance of variation is it provides individuality. Variations, it provides individuality to each living organism. We all are able to recognize each other. It's because of the differences that are there in our features. Had there not been any differences, then we would not be able to identify who is who. Like in case of asexually reproducing organisms, the young ones of a particular individual who is reproducing asexually, you will not be able to differentiate it between them because the variations produced are quite less. But then in case of sexually reproducing organisms, you'll be able to identify each other because these major variations, they provide individuality to each and every living organism. And finally, one of the most important point, that is variations are the raw materials for evolution and formation of new species. So now let us discuss about how variation is important in providing or helping the individuals to get pre-adapted to the changes that may happen in the environment. Now, as you all know that all living organisms, they occupy a niche in the community. Okay, so living organisms, they live in well-defined spaces which are called as niche, and these niches, they provide them all the requirements. That is, it's a place where they get sufficient food, they live there, flourish there, reproduce. Okay, and these different niches that are there, they are filled up by the individuals of a particular species. Now, consistency in DNA copying, like as already stated, that when DNA is being copied, it's only minor errors that may happen. A major error will not allow the individual to survive. So because of the fact that there is a consistency in DNA copying, this helps the individuals to maintain a proper body design, which will help them to make use of their niche in the best possible way. Right? It's going to help them to take use of the niche in the best possible way. Okay, and through the process of reproduction, the individuals fill up the particular niche. But then there may occur some change in the niche, like there may be a meteorite hit, or there may be a sudden increase in the temperature or meteorite hit, or as the temperature is increasing, it's all global warming. So these changes, that is a change like a meteorite hit, an increase or decrease in the temperature, these things can drastically change the niche. And if the niche gets changed, then what will happen? Because the individuals or species are adapted to a particular niche, and if suppose the niche changes, which is not in the hands of the individual, if suppose the niche changes, then that is going to be life threatening. Most of the individuals which are adapted to the unchanged niche, after the change of the niche, most of the individual of that particular species will die. Okay, and if suppose all the individuals of a particular species, they are adapted, they are having the same body design without any variation, and they are well suited to that particular niche, and if the niche has changed, then this drastic change of the niche can wipe out the entire population. But this does not happen. It's because of the fact that, as already stated, that when DNA copying occurs, when individuals reproduce, variations are produced. These variations can be favorable variation. Okay, it can be either a favorable variation or an unfavorable variation. And what kind of variation has an individual has, it will be evident only when there is a change in the niche. So if suppose that a niche has got changed, then all those individuals in that particular living or occupying that particular niche, who are having these favorable variations, a variation that can resist the change, those individuals with the variations will survive because they are resistant to it. So that those individuals will survive. They will survive, and then again they'll multiply. The rest may die, but then those which are resistant to the change in the niche, the temperature has increased, but there might be individual who may be resistant to high temperature. Definitely there'll be most of the individual will be they will be alive only in a particular range, but if the temperature has increased to a certain higher degree, then most of them will die. But some who are resistant to that high temperature, they will survive, they will again multiply, and then they are going to fill up the niche. Multiply means they'll reproduce again, and they'll again fill up the niche, and thus this will help the species to continue. Okay, so the variation, we say that it may not be important for the survival of an individual, but it is quite important for the survival of the species. And species, it's continuing since its origin of a species have come into origin, still continuing. It's because of this variations that are being produced, because variation will help the organism to get adapted. An example is mentioned or quoted in your NCERT book about, suppose this is a diagrammatic representation. If you see, suppose there is a water body. This is a water body found in a temperate region. So suppose you have got a water body in a temperate region. A temperate region is a region which is neither too hot nor too cold. So in this, suppose in that water body or pond there are bacteria present. So most of the bacteria will be having a body design which is favoring this particular niche, that is the temperate water body. But among them, as they reproduce, there might be some of those bacteria which may be resistant to heat, higher temperature. And suppose that they are surviving, they are multiplying, and because of global warming, if suppose the temperature of this water body increases. So if the temperature increases, then what will happen? Due to high temperature, the bacteria which are there, which are not resistant to high temperature, they are going to die. Okay, they will die. And finally, that water body will be left with those bacteria who were resistant to high temperature. So these heat resistant bacteria will survive. They will not only survive, they will again multiply. They are going to survive and they'll multiply again, and then again they'll fill up the niche. That is the water body. So it's here what you find is this change or variation to to being resistant to high temperature has helped in survival of the species. The species individuals died. Those individuals which are not adapted to the high temperature, they died, but those which were resistant, they survived and then they multiplied again. And that particular favorable variation, that is in this case it's resistant to high temperature, that was passed to the next generations also, and thus the niche or the water body is again filled up. And this is the reason why we say that variations, they are important for the survival of the species. They may not be important for the survival of an individual, but quite important for the survival of the species.